to start off with, one of the things I wanted to start off with was thanking Cynthia for inviting me. And also, I'd like for you guys to raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. And then go like this. You know why you're patting yourselves on the back? Because you're here, right? When you look at your education, it's an investment, right? Your education is an investment. Let's think about how what you do every day in your educational life, how does that look like, or what would that look like in starting a business? What skills are you gaining in your college life that will help you with your business? Can anybody tell me anything? Think about it. What skills?
Networking.
Networking is a skill, yes. Or did you say it? Who said it? She said that. Okay. What else? Yes, ma'am.
Public speaking.
Public speaking. Very good. But what else? What are some internal things that you're learning? Let me just ask you this. If you don't study for a test, what happens? You fail, right? Well, with SBA or with starting a business, go ahead. Did you have something? Okay. Anybody have anything else? With starting a business, that's what it's all about, is not just trying to start it really quickly, but you have to study it, right? Because you want to look at it, you want to measure it, you want to make sure that you get the right location, you want to make sure you get the right people in place. And think about it. Wouldn't it be great that once you graduate, you actually create your own job for yourself and other people, right? That would be great. You don't want to go work for someone else. You want to make your own business, right? Well, I'm going to talk to you about SBA. So SBA is a federal agency where we were created through the Eisenhower administration in 1953. And when you think about, when she talked about how broad her agency is, we have district offices like mine. We're located in Harlingen, but we cover 14 counties. So we cover as far south as Cameron, as far west as Zapata, and as far north as Aransas County. So we cover a large area, right? Well, you have a district office, especially in Texas. There are 6 district offices in Texas, but there is a district office from SBA in every single state in the United States, to include the Virgin Islands and Guam, Hawaii, Alaska, right? So this is important because there is a point for you always, wherever you're at, there's going to be a district office, right? So why does that matter, right? Why do I care, right? Well, this is the place that you go to get help, you get service. And when you think about small business, when you talk about small business, what do you think a small business is? Give me an idea.
A sole proprietor.
Yeah, but how do we measure a small business, do you think?
Less than 500 employees.
You got it. She's good. That's one way. That is one way. That's like the rule of thumb. If a business has more or less, and depending on the type of business, if it has more or less 500 employees, it's considered a small business. How many businesses down here do you know has 500 employees? Not very many, right? So when you think about our area, our whole area is made up of small businesses, of entrepreneurs that are out there taking care of business, getting it done every day, right? So we are made up of small businesses down here, very small businesses. I call them micro businesses. I mean, even to the point where the culture is so entrepreneurial. I mean, we might have our family members that, you know, make tacos and sell tacos, right? That's entrepreneurial. Or make fruit, or make sandwichon, or whatever it is, right? And they sell those, and that's how they make their money, right? Those are very small micro businesses. We have a lot of that down here, and so we were wanting to help those small businesses too. So when you think of small, yes, 500 and below, and sometimes in manufacturing, we're looking at 1,500 employees, and then when we look at service forms like firms, oil and gas, and those types of things, we're looking at the amount, the gross income or the sales, which is I think the minimum is $47 million. So that's still like a lot, right? So how does SBA help? So I always talk about the 4 C's. It used to be the 3 C's and the D, but I made something else up, so it's my own stuff, right? It's easier to remember, 4 C's, right? And one of them is counseling, which is our partners here, but I call it confidence. I don't call it counseling, I call it confidence, because when we know what we're talking about and we get into what we're doing, then it's building our confidence, right? Like if I were to ask you to come up here and talk and you don't know what the subject is, that could be, you don't have any confidence, you're gonna be like, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but if you know what you're talking about and you know what you're getting into, then that's building confidence, right? So it's through our advising, through our resource partners. One of them is Maria and the SBDC. Another one is SCORE. We have a SCORE chapter down here. And SCORE stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives, but not all of them are retired. But the thing about SCORE is they've been there, done that, right? They're people that have already been through it, done it, put a Band-Aid on it, whatever, right? And so if you go to the SCORE website, and that's score.org, you can get a mentor free of charge, and that mentor may be from even a different state. If you have something in particular or specific, like say you want to manufacture furniture, but we don't have a mentor down here that is really knowledgeable about that, you can put your information in there and say, I need more information, I need help with this, right? And they will actually send you a mentor, have a mentor contact you that has an expertise in that, and that is at no cost. They also have wonderful, wonderful website that talks you through. It has lots of different videos and things like that, spreadsheets and just all kinds of stuff. So that also is a great resource. We also have our VBOC, right? Veteran Business Outreach. Do we have any veterans in here? Any veteran spouses? Nope, I'm a veteran. I am not a spouse. Okay, but if you're a veteran or you're a spouse of a veteran, you can get support through the VBOC, which she mentioned, so I won't go too far into that. We also have, we have on our website a lot of great information, as you can see, free business, yeah, there we go. Scroll down. So this even talks about the 4 different, what I call phases of business. You know, you want to plan, launch, manage, and then grow, right? So that talks about that. And this is probably the first column for me, when you're starting out, is probably one of the most important ones. Let's see, who else do we have for counseling? Anything else? Let's see.
Women's, but we don't have one.
Yeah, there are women's business centers in other places. We don't have one down here. And then obviously our Lift Fund partners also do classes in counseling, especially if you get financing from them, right?
Yes.
Okay, so those are our resource partners. If you want to find a local resource partner, you can go to local assistance. Let's see, scroll up. There you go. See how we have the SBDC centers, SCORE, okay. Then we also have export finance centers. So this is the page where you can find resources, right? All right, I won't go too much more into that. Okay, so the first C is what?
Confidence.
Confidence. The second C is capital, access to capital. What does that mean? Money. Who doesn't need money, right? So SBA doesn't exactly loan you the money. A lot of folks think that, but we guarantee money to the lender, right? We go to the lender, and if a lender works with us, we have lender partners, if they work with us, let's just for math purposes, right? Let's say you need a $100,000 loan. SBA may guarantee up to maybe 85% of that. So SBA is telling the lender, I'm willing to take a chance, and we're willing to guarantee 85% of that, right? We're willing to come in and help the bank pay off that 85% if something happens. You're still liable for it to the government, but it's sort of like I want to say a cosigner, some, yeah, cosigner, right? Thank you. Cosigner that's saying to the lender, we've got this, and we are going to pay it off if something happens, right? So the first thing you would do is you'd go to your lender. Or you could go to our website and look up our active lenders. And so we don't have that on here, but it is on our page, our specific page, right? The Lower Rio Grande Valley. Or you can just call me and say, well, who's the most active lenders in the area? A lot of the lenders that are active, and she's not one of them that I'm getting ready to say, but a lot of them, a lot of our lenders are outside of the area. And so we have a program called is it Lender Match there?
Yeah.
Okay. Lender Match. So this is like a matchmaking service where you put your project in there, you tell them how much you want, you give them some information, and that thing shoots out to all kinds of lenders that have opted into this. And they may call you back if they want to opt in and talk to you about it doesn't mean you got the loan, it just means that they're looking at your loan and they may want to talk about it, right? You still have other things you need to make sure and get done. So that's Lender Match. The instructions are there. But that's an opportunity for you. If you're going to a bank or something and they're not listening to you, or they think you're crazy or whatever, try Lender Match because those lenders are from all over. And Lift Fund actually participates in that. Huh? In Lender Match? Yeah. Okay. And what do you think, why do people go through the SBA? Why do you think they go through the SBA?
I was like, can I answer?
Yeah, answer it. Go for it.
So if you need funding, you'll get a guarantee from the SBA. So if you're seeking for funds and you go to your bank and the bank is not willing to take that risk, then this is where the SBA steps in and guarantees the loan to the lender.
But not only that, but SBA has competitive terms, right? We have lower down payments, and then we have longer maturities, right? So what the bank may say, I'm going to give you a 10-year loan on, we may say 15 or something like that. We may be able to extend it, okay?
No prepayment penalties.
No. And then the last, okay, so we have confidence, capital, and the last one is contracting. So the SBA works with about 144, more or less, federal agencies, right? And we work through these certifications, and Cynthia is constantly having these. So we certify in different certifications. There's a woman-owned small business certification. There is what they call an 8A Small Business Disadvantage certification. There is a veteran-owned or disabled veteran-owned certification. And then there's a hub zone certification. And what happens is, if you're able to get one of these certifications, then we have what they call sole sourcing, which means if a contractor, a government contractor, is looking for a specific item and you are certified in this item, they may use you because they have to meet a certain quota. I don't want to say quota, that's kind of, they have to meet a certain percentage every year. For women-owned, for hub zone, for 8A, and for service-disabled veterans. And so when you think about the government, and I don't know about now, but the government, please don't post it, no. The government spends about $500 billion a year in services and programs and in products, $500 billion. So when you think about having a 23% cut of that, you're looking at what, about a quarter of it, which is what, $125 billion that goes to small business. And so that's kind of the government's promise that we want to support small business. And we have these percentages that we want to take care of, right? So, number one,
Confidence.
Oh,
No, my bad.
and then the third? Okay, last one, we call it crisis. So a lot of you may not know that the SBA, when a disaster happens, like when we have a lot of flooding down here or a hurricane, SBA is usually the second pair of boots on the ground next to FEMA. Why? Because this is the only time we will make a direct loan, either to a person for their home or their rental property, or to a business. The business could be damaged. And then long term, looking at the economic injury of the business. So, like as an example, and everybody's probably heard this, during COVID, businesses had to shut down, right? They couldn't operate because COVID was spreading, and so restaurants and hotels and everything shut down, right? SBA provided assistance saying, okay, there is a disaster going on. We know you're going to have a very difficult time because nobody's coming to your business. It's an economic injury. It's impacting you, right? So we provided loans to many of those folks. And I want to say down here, and not just the COVID EIDL, but in many, many programs that were during COVID, I think we did about $5.4 billion of lending and support. So what's the last one? Crisis. If we have a flood or a hurricane or something, you'll know at your home, you can tell your parents, hey, SBA can help, right? We can help you with putting your home back together and making it whole again, right? And it could be, it's not a gift or a grant, it's through a very, very, very low interest rate loan, okay? We also have programs called Thrive. We have a lot of entrepreneurial education, but majority I want you to think about are the 4 C's, right? Because we don't have a lot of time to go deep into them. Well, the other thing I'd like you to do is at the bottom of the page, okay, oh, right there. You see this thing right here? If you sign up for our email and you put the zip code, that means when you enter it or subscribe, you'll get emails directly from our district office. So not emails from the whole nation, but if we have trainings or anything that's going on within our district, and Maria also puts their trainings on there, you're more than welcome to attend, but you'll just get a little email that will tell you what's going on in the area.